Hello to all you neurotypicals partnered with somebody who is on the spectrum, just as I am. I wanted to talk about losing yourself in this relationship and warning those who are going down this road to try not to lose yourself. So important. When I first found out my husband was on the spectrum, probably about 8 years ago now, I started going to support groups because I wanted to better my marriage, improve my marriage, understand him better and understand what was going on. And there were a couple of older ladies in that group who'd been with their husbands for decades, and their advice was to live your own life and sort of kind of live like you're separated or you're single, even under the same roof. And I remember thinking, surely there's more that I can do than that. And yeah, nah, there isn't. It turned out to be the best advice ever. At the time, I just remember thinking, that just seems so pointless. Why be married, indeed, if that's going to be the rest of your life? And I started to do a little bit more of what they said, because up to that point I had, how do I put this? I'd lost myself within the house, in that I couldn't be myself in the house, in that I like to listen to music, and you can't listen to music while the TV is on. It's just an impossibility, you know. He can't hear the footy guy screaming, "In the back!" if you've got your music blaring in the background. So that was the main thing that I couldn't do around the house. Like, I used to cook and clean before I met him, and anything, I did everything with music playing. And then he comes in and it's all TV all day, every day, and the music is a no-go. But outside of him, and I'm sure you'll understand why, you know it. It's because he didn't have to join in. Outside of him, I could do my own thing. If I said to him now, like, this is preposterous, but still, let's just roll with it, right? If I said to him now, I'm going to this gastronomic restaurant, going to be $300 per person, and my friends have invited me and we're going to do this thing. If we had the money, he wouldn't, raise an eyebrow. Be like, yeah, you do you. And I've always had that sort of autonomy outside of him. Like, I'll go to a paint and sip class with a friend. I've joined dance classes. I've done so many different activities outside of him. Because, as you know, if you followed my story, I moved across Australia for him and moved in with him and lived with him for 3 years in this little tiny country town where there was nothing doing. And he wouldn't do anything with me. He would just go to work, come home, watch TV, sleep. And somewhere in there, sex was expected. There was no kind of extracurricular activities, like even going for a walk. I would have to go for a walk at night time by myself, just around town, while he's watching TV. And then we get back to where I live, and he still doesn't want to do much with me. And so I'm just finding all these activities that I can do by myself. And, geez, let me try to list a number of things that I've done, because he wouldn't join in. So I used to be a dancer before I met him, and I did competition rock and roll dancing, in fact, along with various other forms of dancing. And I was like, hey, let's sign up to a class and we can learn to dance together, or rather he can learn and then we can dance together. No, not having it. So I did rock and roll classes by myself. I did jazz classes by myself. I did ballroom classes by myself. I did aerial hoops. I've joined gyms. I've done so many different things to try and keep myself active and a semblance of fit. And just constantly just trying to find things to keep me active and things to do. And as I said, he doesn't begrudge that because it leaves him out of it. Anytime I said to him, hey, do you want to do this class with me? Ballroom dancing, for example, or whatever, he'd be like, yeah, nah, not happening. And we did try and do some of the things that he likes, like he likes sport. So we tried tennis. He is or was a budding professional tennis player. And he was a terrible coach. We did it twice. He yelled the whole time at me because I wasn't doing it right, even though I was like, I'm just starting. I don't know, Jack. And he's yelling at me because I'm not doing it right. And I was like, yeah, this isn't fun. I don't want to do this with you. So I stopped. And we did squash together. And I liked squash. It was fun. It's really fast paced. And I figured since he loves tennis, he's going to enjoy squash. And he didn't mind the times that we went together. But he didn't keep it up. And he's kind of goofy like this, right? I don't know if you can relate. But he went out and brought us squash rackets and squash balls so that we didn't have to hire those when we went and played squash next. And then we never went again. It just didn't happen. It was always the wrong time or the wrong this and the wrong that and blah, 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 blah. And then there was COVID lockdown. And by the time lockdown finished, mate, if I went on a squash court now, I would have a heart attack. I'm that unfit. Anyway, so I tried a few things, sporty things with him. We do go hiking kind of like once or twice a year together. So we kind of do some things together, but not a lot of things together. But I do have that autonomy in that I can go out and do kind of whatever I want. Like I went away with a friend once for a long weekend, things like this. I can do stuff like that. He doesn't mind that I do stuff like that. I guess he's not that sort of clingy, jealous type of person. He likes autonomy and he doesn't mind me to have autonomy. And so that's the thing is that I think that's kept me sane and that I say to others, if you want to go to that art exhibition or that restaurant or that dance class or art class or whatever it is, don't let them stop you. Don't let them hold you back. Don't lose yourself in this relationship. Because if you bend all of your will to suit them, you end up lost. You end up trying to find yourself, and by the time you find yourself, you're so changed you don't recognize yourself. Not speaking from experience at all. Totally am. And so yeah, I really, really wish that people who got into these relationships with these guys would just hold on to themselves and stay true to themselves. Because it's just far too easy with all of the kind of tantrums and silent treatments and punishments and outbursts and overwhelms and mental exhaustions and the anxiety and the anger and the fear around their condition can just end up squashing you. You just end up being like, that thing that I did, like play the music at home, set him off, so I won't play my music at home. Or that other thing where I didn't do the dishes straight away, immediately after finishing dinner, set him off. So now I either have to do that or I'm going to be walking on eggshells. And then what happens is we tend to just lose bits of ourselves. We start to be squashed. We don't really notice it's happening. And the friends maybe around us start to notice it's happening. I know mine did. They kept telling me it was happening. And I'm like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. I got this. I'm feisty. I'm fighting back. I'm arguing back. I've got this, And then kind of, I don't know, maybe 4 years or so ago, I sort of started to realise that I had lost a fair whack of myself, mostly around the house, mostly who I am within the walls of this place. And so outside, I can do my thing, inside not so much, but I relish being able to do my thing. I think it is so, so important. So if you're watching this and you're in that space now where your partner is telling you what you can't do, and meanwhile back at the ranch, They're doing all of the things that they love. Stand up for yourself. Fight for your rights to be treated as an equal. If they can live in computer world or whatever it is, their special interest, you should be allowed to do the things that you do, that you love to do. Anyway, that's it for me for now. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I really do appreciate it.